Joining me this morning from the Fitchburg Fire Department, it's the Chief, Joe Polvemacher, and he's here this morning to talk to us a little bit about the brand new ladder truck of Fitchburg.
So let me give you a little bit of a backstory, why we even needed to purchase a new aerial vehicle. The existing ladder that we had, the platform aerial that we had, was 23 years old. Did not have a pump on it, needed to be supplied by an engine. There was a number of things that we identified as being somewhat inefficient with the vehicle, and maintenance was starting to be an issue. Not to mention the fact that over the past year, the ladder itself was not passing its certification. We could have spent money on putting the appropriate amount of maintenance or repair into the aerial, but we found that, since we've got the money budgeted for this new aerial, and since we've already signed the contract with Pierce, we decided to proceed with a plan and a design that was going to serve the city well in the long term. Generally speaking, you get about 20 years out of these vehicles, the aerial devices I'm talking. So we wanted to discuss a number of different things. What's absolutely needed for this city? One of my mantras in the fire department is function over fashion. So whatever we put on that vehicle really needed to be there for the operations aspect. A lot of times vehicles are recruitment tools for their respective departments. I want our training to be our recruitment tool. Our training is probably some of the best in Dane County. We have a dedicated staff that addresses the things that are needed in this community, and training is what was used in order to plan and design this vehicle. We knew that with smart code and the new urbanism that our access to certain areas was restricted, so a turning radius was important. We knew that we had a number of apartment buildings in this city that really required the reach of a 100-foot aerial platform. We knew that rescue was something that we were going to be conducting on a regular basis with this vehicle, so a platform over a straight stick. Those are some of the concepts that we addressed through the design process. And it was an open-ended discussion with our firefighters, the end users, the people who have seen the benefits and the drawbacks of current day design.
Some of the big features that led us to Pierce are safety. First of all, the vehicle has airbags that the previous vehicle didn't have. The suspension is improved, and also our current vehicles are Pierce Quantums, so we decided to stay with the Pierce Quantum for familiarity. So firefighters will be able to use our current engines, and also the truck would have a little bit less training to get up to speed on those. At the beginning, this vehicle will actually be used first out. One of the differences between new Truck 1 and former Ladder 1 is that Truck 1 will have a pump on it. It'll also be 400 gallons of water. So this vehicle can be used as a first out vehicle to EMS calls and fire alarms. So if there was a actual fire, this vehicle would have water and pump to get started while the rest of the apparatus respond.
We absolutely wanted to make sure that whatever we did was not only going to serve the needs of the city, but serve the needs of the firefighter.
Yeah, this truck is very impressive. Definitely gets the looks. There's no question about it. But when we were out there filming and watching the training going on, the key factor being there, safety, 100% over. Talk about the safety aspects of the truck, which I think are very impressive.
So some of the things that have been designed into the vehicle are just certain things that involve placement. There are devices that are in place on the truck that allow us to put out the outriggers in a very specific fashion. That allows us to make sure that we don't have to reposition the vehicle in order to put those things out. The outriggers are what provide the stability, allow us to put the aerial 100 feet into the air without having any sway. That's important. So some of those things went into it. Just the overall pumping aspect of the vehicle. When we talk about safety, we talk about not overloading an aerial. We talk about how we can provide things like rescue and fire attack and and a number of different things that go into the fire response. But from a safety standpoint, even driving to the scene, having airbags available, that's something that typically hasn't been available outside of the last 5 years. So we're pretty comfortable in the safety that's been planned into the vehicle, and we're also looking at ways that we can improve its function despite the safety. I mean, firefighters work in an unsafe environment. There's nothing that I don't think anybody nobody can really argue that comment, but we can make it safer. We can reduce the risk, and by putting good equipment out there, that's one way that we can provide safety for our firefighters.
Yeah, I even think it's down to the small details of the outriggers come out, there's a noise that comes with it, like a backup alarm. It's those little key factors, I think, that just make that truck a lot safer, dependable, and again, just very impressive. Now, what are some of the reasons to have the ladder truck?
Well, the ladder truck does a number of different things. First of all, by having a pump on it, we can fight fire on an aggressive interior attack. We can pull our pre-connected hand lines off of the side of the vehicle and go interior. That's something we weren't able to do with the last one. We are able to provide a defensive type firefighting. So if the fire has grown beyond our capacity of doing an interior attack, we have the ability to provide upwards to 1,500 gallons per minute out of the tip of that ladder. Additionally, there's a rescue element. I mean, when we have people in a situation where they're on an elevated area and they can't get out, well, we have the capacity of going to their location and bringing them down safer than we could with a ground ladder. So those are the things that were sort of planned into the response and sort of make this a more versatile piece of equipment.
Yeah, awesome. And finally, there's plenty of compartments on this vehicle. What are some of the tools that we'll see implemented into this vehicle?
Well, because of the fact that we are a department that cross-staffs our vehicle, at any moment in time, we could be out on the engine, we could be out on the ladder, and regardless of what we're out on, we need to be able to initiate that initial response. So the reason for the compartments is to be able to address the things that you would need at just about any fire. In addition, our aerial carries the extrication tools that are secondary to our squad. They have the ability to provide a number of rescue type of responses, where we're able to serve a number of rescue type responses based on the equipment that we carry on board. There's a lot of stuff that I could show you, and really it would take a tour to be able to define and provide some explanation of the things that are available. And anybody's welcome to come by the fire station and ask to see the fire trucks that respond in their community, and we would welcome that. It gives you a better appreciation for the things that the firefighters have to stay on top of.
Yeah, it is. I like to think that the city has spent their money well on trucks that can service both the rural, the city area, and in between. You guys have done a phenomenal job with that, and I'd like to think we have state-of-the-art equipment. But again, it's functional for your staff to use.
Absolutely. We have to stay on top of the technology, not only the technology of the fire industry, but the building industry. The way that things are designed and built today are not the same as they were designed and built 20, 30 years ago.
No, they weren't.
We're fighting fires differently, and we need to be able to address that through our equipment.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate you taking the time. I'm looking forward to seeing the truck out there and the public too. Make sure if you want to come out and see it, talk to any of the firefighters. It'll be out at, I'm sure, plenty of public events down the road when it is up and operational.
Yeah, we'll make sure that you're aware of when our open houses are, and make sure that FACTv has the scoop.
No, make sure that Jeremy has a seat for, I want to know.
First Jeremy has a seat,
Yeah,
then FACTv gets the scoop.
Fantastic.
All right.
Let's making sure we got to clarify.
No problem.
All right. Thank you for taking the time, Joe. I appreciate it.
My pleasure.